Hi there guys, it's Will here, doing a review. This is a movie review of Avengers Infinity War. Oh, I saw Infinity War yesterday guys, it was... I've tried to gather my thoughts on this, I'm going to do my best to review, but I think it's hard to just review this movie. Obviously a lot of people have already said, over the last 10 years, all the Marvel films have been building to this point. So it's kind of hard to review it as one movie. So first I'm just going to start off by saying congratulations to the MCU, because every storyline we've all invested in throughout the 10 years, straight from the first Iron Man film, just everything you've invested in's answered in this film. I should quickly say, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, just piss off. Go watch the film and then come back, because I don't want to be responsible for ruining your life. So yeah, go away and then come watch the video after you've seen the film and we'll talk, yeah? So yeah, congratulations to Marvel, because they've done a really good job. You know, you just can't fault them. This is, I think it's probably the biggest thing that's ever happened in film, maybe, in some ways, you know. 10 years of story arcs and 19 films, I think it is, and it's just such an extravaganza. It is epic, do you know? That's what that word's for. Not like, oh my god, that was epic, I did a kickflip on a skateboard. Like, that film was epic. This whole journey Marvel's took us on has been epic. And I mean, I'm just going to keep... First of all, well, not first of all, I've already done the first of all thing, but I do need to say as well, I need to talk about my cinema experience. So, like, I went with my best friend Daryl, one of my best mates ever, known him years. We actually watched the first Iron Man films together many moons ago. Yeah, and it's been a ride ever since. But I will say, I went to watch it with Daryl and some other cool peeps. I'm sorry I didn't learn names, and I know Ryan's there. I didn't learn names. I mean, I was there for Infinity War, and you guys probably was too, so don't hold it against me, yeah? But yeah, we all went and sat down and we just watched this movie, and it was just such a weird experience. Like, I'm just going to say this first, but like, after the movie ended, you know, normally you hear a hustle and bustle of people standing up. Oh, that was pretty good, that. Yeah, I really enjoyed. It was like this. You know, apart from my voice, just like complete silence. Everybody stood up and they just walked out in silence. There was no noises. There wasn't even a cough from anyone. It was weird. It was just phenomenally strange. I've never been to the cinema before and walked out in silence like that, but you could tell that it's obviously, it affected everybody as a whole. I mean, me and Daryl, we've never been able to not talk to each other, right? We're best friends, we're comfortable, we've said everything to each other over the years, you know. And we walked home, and most of that walk home was, wow, just mind blown. And we kept trying to say, oh, well, I like this about the film and I like that about the film, but none of us could even arrange our words. I was going to film this yesterday, straight off the bat coming out the movie, but I just couldn't get my thoughts together, and I can't actually get my thoughts together now either. You know, and this is a day later. You got to have a brew when you're doing this. So I'll just jump straight into the movie and start saying things. So this is where it gets spoiler heavy, and you probably don't want to watch if you haven't seen the film, but we'll start with the first bit. So it's like the Asgardians are being laid to siege by Thanos and his goons. My god, just what a way to start a film straight away, you know? Loki's giving this speech about Asgardians, and he's like, well, we have heart, but we also have a Hulk. And then Hulk and Thanos start fighting, and Thanos kicks the crap out of him, and then is he called the Gatekeeper or the Bridge Keeper? That Asgardian dude with the yellow eyes. He basically like summons Hulk off to Earth, and Loki gets choked to death, I think, or his windpipe crushed or something. But Thanos just kills him, like straight out. And then Thor's all like, "Oh well, you're gonna pay for this," and then they just sort of leave Thor there, which is kind of strange. And I don't want to go through the movie completely, but it breaks down into certain scenes where Thanos gets another gem. So I think he already starts with 2, and then he gets 2 off Loki, pretty much straight away. And then he just, as he goes on, he gets them and gets them. There's this brilliant scene where Tony Stark and Bruce Banner see each other again after a long time, and they sort of have an embrace and stuff. And then there's this really funny bit where they're in New York, and obviously there's an attack, and Bruce Banner's trying to turn into the Hulk, and the Hulk's like super embarrassed because he got his ass handed to him, so he don't want any of it, and his dead shine won't come out. And I want to say Bruce Banner was fucking amazing in this movie. Like, there isn't a lot of Hulk, and I'll get into that in a minute, but Bruce Banner is so amazing in this movie. Oh, everything he did made me laugh. Okay, so then we get Spider-Man come into it. He joins Iron Man. There's this big fight in the park, and you can probably see it in the trailer. This big spinning circle spaceship thing flies off into the sky. Iron Man's on it. Spider-Man is on it. He gets his new Iron Spider suit, which is fucking amazing, by the way. And they go off into space to try and save Doctor Strange, which they do. No worries. And then, we have this bit in Scotland with Scarlet Witch and Vision, just trying to live a happy, peaceful life. And then, he's got a gem in his head, Vision has, so he's getting warned that these people are coming, and then some of Thanos' goons show up. I feel bad calling them goons. They're a bit higher up than, your standard level goon, but they come and they start kicking the crap out of them, and it isn't until Captain America and Black Widow show up and whatnot that they manage to get him away and everything's safe. A few other things I want to quickly talk about as well, because I don't want to go through every aspect of the movie. I mean, that's what the movie's for, so you can go and watch it, and I don't have to explain everything, but you'll know what I'm talking about from certain bits. So, like, then you have this journey where people split up, so Thor meets up with the Guardians, and then him and Groot and Rocket Raccoon go off to nowhere? I think it's called Nowhere. To forge a new weapon for Thor. And there's this bit where Gamora's all like, oh, Gamora. But anyway, there's this bit where Gamora's like, oh, Peter Quill, you need to kill me. Don't let Thanos get to me. You need to kill me if he even gets a chance. This is the thing as well. Oh man, Thanos is just such. I kind of got the same feeling from Kylo Ren in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Like, he's just such a well-written character. Do you know, I can't even call him a bad guy, because there's so many scenes in this movie where you end up sympathising with Thanos, and you understand completely why he's doing these things. So it's a bit crazy, but you can sympathise with him. Oh gosh, and like this one scene where it's Gamora's a little girl, and Gamora's people are getting shot, and Thanos takes her away and gives her this fancy little dagger thing, and averts the attention of all the killing, so she doesn't see it, and he kind of protects her, which leads on to a bigger part. So I have like Cap and all those sort of people meeting up, and then they're going to Wakanda. You have a couple of other things going on, but basically what happens is they find Nebula, and she's being tortured, and then unfortunately Gamora just gives up, And she's like, yeah, I'll tell you where it is, Thanos, just leave Nebula alone. And they go to, what's this place called? They go to find the Soul Stone, and it's in this place. It's called Vormir or something like that. But if I'm wrong, don't put it in the comments about how fucking much of a mess up I am or fuck up, because I didn't get it right. I attempted it, you know. I haven't seen it since yesterday, and so much happened in the film. You know, I think certain things will slip my mind. You know, I'm only a human being, but yeah, it was that basically. Just Thanos was really hard. So they go to find this Soul Stone, and there's this Reapery dude, and he's basically like, oh yeah, lots of people have come to find the stone, and they've been turned away, and you will have to pay a high price for the stone. And they just sort of go up anyway, and then slowly you realise that this Reaper is Red Skull, and the Tesseract sent him to this place where the Soul Stone is, and it is warning Thanos that if he wants the stone, he'll have to give up something he loves. So it's like a soul for the Soul Stone, and then with that, he kills Gamora. He just throws her off the cliff, and you know, lights out Gamora. That's another one dead. Do you know? Yeah, crazy. But he gets the Soul Stone, and then so to wrap it all up quickly, he gets all these, you know, gemstones and blah blah blah, these infinity gems, and while this is going on, Thor's like built his new axe weapon, which is an amazing scene, by the way. Like, Thor stole this movie for me. It's already like one of my favourite cinematic Avengers, but he was amazing in this film. And it all leads down to this pinnacle last minute where they're all fighting in Wakanda. Thor shows up with Groot and Rocket Raccoon. This big battle going on. And by the way, there's a few times where you think Thanos has been killed, but he's just manipulating reality, so he hasn't. But yeah, at the end there's just this bit where all this fighting's going on, and Vision gets the Mind Stone ripped out his head, so I'm assuming he's dead. And then Thor just like buries his new weapon in Thanos' chest, and he's like, "See, I fucking told you I'd get you." And Thanos is just like, "Yeah, well, Joe, this is a waste part of my review because I can't clip my fingers." But yeah, he's like, "Yeah, you should have aimed for my head." And then he clips his fingers, and then, as you can imagine, as people start fucking turning into dust, and left and right, like Spider-Man, Falcon, Doctor Strange. Oh, that's what I want to talk about really quickly. So there's this bit where Tony Stark gets stabbed, and you think Thanos is going to kill him, and then Doctor Strange is all like, "Oh, I'll give you the Time Stone. Just don't kill Tony Stark." And then he does it, and Tony Stark's looking at him like, "The fuck, man?" And he's like, "This was the only way." So that goes back to earlier when Doctor Strange is doing this thing where he's travelling through all, you know, future time frames, and I think that is going to have something to do with the next movie, like in a big way, because he says to Tony Stark, when he's traded his life for Thanos, is like, he says to him, "This was the only way." Like, and he also said something about, "Oh yeah, I've seen lots of different realities and endings for this." And Tony Stark's like, "Oh well, how many did we win?" And Doctor Strange is like, "Just one." So yeah, there's a massive thing there, I think, that's going to impact in the next film. But anyway, a lot of people, you know, with the click and whatever, he releases half the time and whatnot, a lot of people die. Like, it's going to shock you. I mean, obviously there's that thing of they can't really be dead because, I mean, Spider-Man fades away, but there's obviously another Spider-Man coming, and just things like that. There's a few people, like Doctor Strange hasn't even had a second outing, but he died, turned into dust or whatever. The only people who are pretty much left is the core Avengers. So you got Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor, Hulk. By the end of the film, they're the only ones that look like they're left. It's just really, really emotional. This is what I mean. I can't really say any more about the film than I have, but you just come out after seeing all this and you're like, yeah, I mean, and that's not a